Hey there, in this video we are going to look at how we graph a line by picking 2 points. So this is a third method. The first method we talked about was slope-intercept form, and remember slope-intercept form was when it's in the format y equals mx plus b, or in a format where we can get it into that slope-intercept form. And then we also talked about graphing in point slope form, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So that was our second method we looked at. Again, if the equation is in that format or close to it where you can get it into that format. Then now we are going to look at graphing a line by picking 2 points. So for this one, we do not need to change the equation or check that it's in a certain format. We can do this with any format. So this may be your go-to method because you can do it with any equation that is given to you, any linear equation that is given to you, where we have an x and a y we can plug in. We'll talk about here in a second. So how to graph a line with 2 points. In order to graph a linear function, you need a minimum of 2 points, like we talked about, because there will always only be one straight line that passes through any pair of points. So the minimum we need is 2 points. If we have 2 points on a line, we can connect it and we can see the entire line continues beyond those, but we can connect those points and see the path of the line. So when graphing a line, given the equation in any form, you can choose to find 2 points on the line and plot and connect. Now, the simplest way that I would suggest to do this is to insert 0 in 2 places. We're going to put 0 in for x, and we're going to put 0 in for y. When you put 0 in for x, you will then solve for y. When you put 0 in for y, you will then solve for x. When you do that, you will then have 2 different ordered pairs. This one, when you plug in 0 for x, you will end up with an ordered pair that's listed 0, comma, and then whatever you got for y. And then when you plug in 0 for y, that ordered pair will have 0 as the second number, and then whatever you solved for x as the first number. So we will have 2 ordered pairs that we can plot on a graph. And if you do this, you'll notice the first one, 0, comma, some number, is going to be along the y-axis. So this is going to be your y-intercept. And then this one is going to be some number left or right, and then 0 up and down. So it's going to be on the x-axis, which is going to be your x-intercept. So with that, we are going to be looking at finding essentially your x-intercept and your y-intercept. So once we have those, then we can plot those wherever they end up. Then we have 2 points on the line, and we can connect those and create our line. So let's give it a try. So again, we're going to plug in 0 for x, solve for y, write it as an ordered pair. Plug in 0 for y, solve for x, write it as an ordered pair. Plot those ordered pairs, and then connect and draw arrows on the end. So let's try that with number 1. So we're going to plug in x equals 0, and we're going to plug in y equals 0. So for x equals 0, notice this says f of x. I just want to remind you, if you want to rewrite that as y, that really means the same thing. So y equals negative 1/2 x plus 2. Let's put 0 in for x. So we have y equals negative 1/2 times 0 plus 2. And then we just go ahead and solve for y. So negative 1/2 times 0, that is 0, plus 2. So we have y equals 0 plus 2. 0 plus 2 is 2. So that gives us y equals 2. So writing that as an ordered pair, we have our x, which is 0, and we just found y to be 2. Now we do the same thing with y equals 0. So we put 0 in for y. So 0 equals negative 1/2 x plus 2. Now, because the x term is not by itself, we do need to go ahead and subtract 2 from both sides to get this x term by itself before we can get rid of the negative 1/2 in front. So 0 minus 2 is negative 2. So we have negative 2 equals negative 1/2 x. Now, to get rid of that negative 1/2 x, we can multiply both sides of the equation by the denominator but notice this is -1/2, so I am going to multiply by -2. So that -1/2 times -2 becomes +1. And so then we would just have a +1x or x on the right side. But if we multiply the right side by -2, then we need to do the same thing on the left side. Therefore, our ordered pair here is going to be the x-coordinate 4 and then the y-coordinate 0. So we have 2 points that we can go ahead and plot. So 0, 2 is our first one. We don't go left to right, and then we go up 2, put a point. And then 4, 0, we go right 1, 2, 3, 4, put a point. And then we just connect those points with a line. And then you can put arrows on the end. So just keep in mind that you only need 2 points to create a line, so that's why we just need these 2 points. So this is an option. Any equation, linear equation, we can just plug in the 0 for x and 0 for y, get 2 points, and connect those 2 points and create that line. Now let's take a look at number 2. So this one is in a different format. So the last one was in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. This one here, 2x plus 4y equals -8. This one is not in that slope-intercept form. It's in what we call standard form, but we're going to do it the same way here. So we're going to plug in 0 for x and 0 for y. So when we plug in 0 for x, we have 2 times 0 plus 4y equals -8. 2 times 0 is 0, so we have 0 plus 4y equals -8. 4y equals -8 because 0 plus 4y is just 4y. And then we divide both sides by 4. And when we do that, we end up with y equals -2. So our ordered pair here is going to be the x-coordinate 0 and the y-coordinate -2. So 0, -2. Now for y equals 0, we're going to put we'll put 0 in place of y. So we'll have 2x plus 4 times 0 equals -8. And then 4 times 0 is 0. So 2x plus 0 equals -8. Therefore, we have 2x equals -8. Divide both sides by 2 to isolate that x, and we get x equals -4. So our ordered pair here is going to be -4 for the x-coordinate, 0 for the y-coordinate, and then we can just plot those points. So 0, -2, from the origin, we don't go left or right, but we go down 2 and we put a point. And then for -4, 0, we go left 1, 2, 3, 4 for -4, and then up or down, we do not go anywhere. And then again, we just connect those points with a line and we put arrows on the ends. So again, that line does go on forever. If you needed to continue the line, you could count the slope between these 2 points and continue that slope. So for example, we go up 2 and left 1, 2, 3, 4 between these. So we could go up 2 and left 1, 2, 3, and then another 4 right there and continue if you needed to. So again, that just kind of depends on what the question is asking, but that is how we graph with 2 points. So in quick summary, we only need 2 points to plot to make a line, and we plug in 0 for x and for y, and that's going to give us those 2 coordinate points. So that will give us 0, some y value, and then x, 0.